Some very, very, very dark alchemy. How we doing, Moonshine? Oh, not too bad. I'm about to conduct a terrifying experiment in resin, powder, and ink. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I'm moderately terrified. But if it works, oh my god, if it works. Hey, Kimberly. It's going pretty good. We'll know shortly if it's going great or just okay. Hey, Lily. How we doing? Oh, yeah. It's going to be a little crazy, not gonna lie. Alright, test swatches are ready. I'm working with resin. So I'm going to be moderately intelligent. Sick! No! Sick and sucky! Angle this down on the work. There we go, a bit more. Not fun. Hot is also pretty bad. Unless it's hot. Well, hot and humid is the worst, but hot's not fun. What'd you get, Lily? Is it stomachy? Is it coldy? Is it fluey? What flavor of ill befell you? I could use a spoon. Or a scoop. Puppies! Puppies make everything better. I have yet to find a day that cannot be assisted by copious amounts of puppies. COVID! Oh my god. Well, on the plus side, I'm guessing you have a little bit of time off work. Okay. First question on tonight's docket is, How much can I thin this out? Still have it function. Let's try a 50-50. It's a little more than 50-50, but we'll see. Alright, do I have a sacrificial stirring thing? Somewhere. You know, I may have brought my sacrificial stirring things to work. We could always come up with more sacrificial stirring things. They're sacrificial, so who cares? Oh, gah. That's worse when you're your own boss and every minute in COVID time is costing you cash. Hey, Joey, how we doing? Okay. So here we go. We have resin and isopropyl alcohol. This is UV reactive resin. So tonight's first question is it thin enough in 50-50 mix of isopropyl, and the isopropyl will be evaporating, that it will work? Well, you're braver than I am. Gardening is not one of my fortes. Okay, so that went right in there. Let's shield this from any possible UV. Hit this with UV. Let's see what happens. I can definitely empathize with the making of things. I got absolutely inspired a little while ago. I have no idea if this will work. I know how that goes, Joey. This place needs a serious clean in its own right. I'm right in that bucket with you. All the stuff is all over the place. Alright. That's already fairly intensely UV reactive. So, my first question is it solid? After that amount of exposure. Good friggin' God, it feels like it. It's not perfect, but that's really good. Okay. So even thinned out, this should harden. Wow, okay. Okie dokie. This could change everything. And also it's tolerably good UV reactive. Now, we have here some of the best damn glow powder I have ever seen in all my days. That's not visible to you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be, though. That is just nothing of an exposure. And it's lit right up. So what I started doing earlier was taking some green ink and painting it into the sigils on these Jenga bits in order to make them light up and exposure to UV. And it works, and it's slow and it's tedious, but it doesn't look great after it kind of fades. So, I wondered, could we do some evil alchemy here, get this incredibly good glow powder into the mix, and after that, find a way to get it into the grooves, have a resin be the binder, get the green, get the glow, get everything I want in one fell swoop. Is it possible? And that is what we're going to try to find out tonight. Yeah, this is some, like I said, this is some serious dark alchemy here. Alright, so I have glow powder in there. I have UV reactive resin in there. It's thin enough that I should be able to paint it into the grooves. We're going to add a few drops of this ink, which hopefully will interact with the isopropyl and spread tolerably well throughout this. And get us something pretty special. It's still spreadable like paint. But now it should be hardenable like resin. And we'll see if it glows. Hey Cricket, how we doing? Woohoo! Just let that hit for a while. Usually takes a good 30 seconds to get a good cure on UV resin. Okay. So it's on there. It illuminates under my light, but it doesn't glow worth a fart. A lot of my glow powder is really accumulating at the bottom. And that was somewhat to be expected. Did order a lot of this stuff. Now I'm concerned it may be a little bit too thin. Yeah, glad you're kicking down towards the Halloween stuff, Cricket. Hey, Taylor. Well, thank you. Everybody should be able to have fun with their Halloween craziness. Here we go. Take two. Haunted house drum line. That sounds interesting. So, depending on your publicity, you'd probably do tolerably well. Though a lot of haunted houses don't necessarily do great in their first season, FYI. Unless you are marketed out the wazoo. Okay. It's glowing. It's green. It's fairly intensely UV reactive. It's not glowing as well as I'd hoped. Not as green as I'd hoped, and it certainly isn't as spread out. So, yeah, that's what I bought the damn stuff for, so let's use it. It's amazing, it's awesome, it's not that expensive, and I'm not that poor. Alright, we're going to jack that concentration. And we're going to get a better swizzle stick. I think I'd like to add a little bit more green to it. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you tack on a haunted house to that, then you should be in pretty darn good shape. Then everybody goes and just look at it as something extra. Hopefully pop over the extra tree fitty to go through your event. Let's try some of this evil sorcery. I had some green resin. This stuff probably will destroy a brush, though. Well, then again, if I don't hit the brush with UV, I should be able to just get it off in isopropyl. So that's much glowier. I really wish I had a magnetic stir bar. That's pretty intense. Alright. Let's scrap the morning stuff. Let's get a... Let's get a gap in the friggin' desk here. Need a wash cup filled with isopropyl. Yes, a lot of those events can be extremely expensive. This should be 90% isopropyl. But some idiot doesn't have a label on it. Yes, this is 91% isopropyl. I don't know why the label isn't on it. Probably because it got worn off. Okay. Piss on it. Let's keep on going. More glow powder, more glow powder, la la la. Christmas time. Alright, let's ruin a brush. The downside of this stuff is it's really going to have to be screwed up like every single time I dip a brush in it. Barely on this side of controllable. I can thicken it up with a little bit more resin now. You can do it if you've got a sizable enough voltage snap. Possible. Usually I like to take a screwdriver, wrap a coil around it, and tap it off a car battery a couple times. That'll magnetize it. It'll align the fields. Alright, it's glowy. And when there's no light on it, it looks like nothing. Still not ideal. And it's not as bright as this. Shoot. It's beautifully glowy, but it doesn't have the same thing. Well, with a magnetic stir, what you need is a, God, I forget what they encase them in, but suffice to say it's a small metal rod inside of a completely unreactive plastic coating. You drop it down into the bottom of a beaker or glass, and you put it on a plate that underneath it has a spinning magnet, and inside the stirrer keeps whatever mix it is agitated. And they're excessively handy. Glow in the dark. Okay. I already got glow in the dark covered. What we need is green. Or do we need white? I'm going to assume we need more green than white. That's black. That's kiwi. Kiwi seems greenish. And terrible thing is I've got one at work right now. But I'm not at work right now. I'm in a flat snip. more green, but it's not neon green. Let's give this a shot. These guys tend to have the phosphors that will make it the neon that I want. Yep. And they've got their own glow powder in them, but the glow powder that I just got is so much better. And this is one I haven't used before. I got this one off Amazon. This is the wrong one. I'm sure I'll find it in a moment. Art and Glow. Art and Glow glow powder. Got that wonderful resin toxic smell. Let's go over here. Yeah, it's very good. I don't know exactly how wonderful it is. Man, that still just looks better at the moment. Pisses me off though. I'll be able to throw that in a thing and cap it as long as I keep it out of any kind of UV light. Will be good. Glow is beautiful. It just doesn't have the shine of those pieces. So we're going to make a desperate gamble. I'm going to saturate the snot out of that resin with the stuff that makes that glow. And we're going to try one more test trench. Maybe two more test trenches. Whew. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And in the end, a valiant effort will have been made. Alright, here we go. Ink saturation! Downside, of course, the glow powder starts falling out of suspension the instant I stop stirring the mix. And that's aggravating. Again, if I had a magnetic stir bar in there, that wouldn't be a problem. Looks better. Glows better. And my eye is all kooky. Alright, glow's nice. Almost illuminates as well. I think we got it. Happily sacrifice a little bit more of this ink to get the perfect color. I think probably add a hair more resin. A little easier to control. Downside, of course, being that this stuff is probably toxic as flip. And it's going to take forever to ink this. And I probably better do it all tonight, because I have no idea how well this stuff will keep. The truth. There we go. Ugh. Eye boogers. Yuck. Does the resin cure? Yes, yes it does. Does beautifully, in fact. Looks green to the outside. Has virtually the same luminosity. It is beautiful. And it should glow. Just barely catching on camera. There we go. So these two, incidentally, right there, that are the ones. have a lovely luminosity. There, that's better. That's all glow on them. Perfect. Alright. Now we just need to wreck a brush. Oh, yeah, we need to do one more thing. We need to test how easy it is to control, because this stuff tends to seep. And while I doubt anybody will be looking at my little Jenga board with any great detail, I also do not desire to be a screw up. Alright, so this is my don't ruin the brush bit, but then we're also going to be onto some fairly boring painting for a while. I wish I had a like a tongue depressor stick. And that's why you wear the gloves. Because sometimes it jumps out of the container. Let's see. Kill for a magnetic stir right now. I can probably find something shorter than the screwdriver. It is, after all, my craft room, which means it's stocked to the gills with crap. Ooh, that's messy. Oh, God, that's messy. Oh, scheiße. Oh, it's gorgeous, but it fine lines like a brush hog. Hard as a champ. Alright. So there is my problem. It is not fine lining into the cracks. It is oozing out and causing problems. So we're going to try a little bit less on the brush and see what we got. If I can't get it working, then I'm just going to use the ink, because the ink is beautiful, looks beautiful, and doesn't go everywhere. But I will do my best to save this stuff if I can't use it. Because I'm sure I can use it for something. And it's a nice introduction to my first experiment with using 3D printer resin. Paint project. Kill for a magnetic stir bomb. Car 54, where are you? Alright, let's see if we got it. Still seeping. We'll give it a quick charge and then see how bad it looks. I do not feel like sanding off resin in tactical areas. Maybe I'll try it on one piece. So I just did it over here on those sections. The downside is that UV doesn't show up extremely well on... let's see if we can catch the glow effect. Not great. There is one other possibility. I need to find the stuff for it. But it does not fill me with confidence and joy, and that is to grab some of the metallic powder and lace it with a green to get the shine. At any rate, what the normal stuff does is gives a really good luminosity to this when it goes across. And that is the goal. It looks really good. I may have to just do this with the ink. Unideal. I was really hoping that the alchemy would pay off. Which to a certain extent it did, but Its utility is not precise enough for my liking. We're going to go on a quick hunt for metallic powders. Thought the metallic powders were in one spot, but yeah, they may have migrated. And a whole bunch of other stuff is falling over as I try to locate what I'm after. They seek it here. They seek it there. Those Frenchies seek it everywhere. Is it in heaven or is it in hell? Damned, elusive. Powder! This is my other powders. All right. Let's do a quick stand-up scan. And this is another reason that I desperately want to rework the craft room a bit. You should know where everything is. It should be fairly hard for things to get lost. Seems as if the exact opposite is the case. Oh. Shiny rocks. No, no joy. Means it's hiding somewhere. And I will take a brief moment to look, but I am not wasting all night on this. Where a whole pile of resistors are. I've been looking for those. Check the back. Electronics. Knocked over a whole bunch of tools. Nope. No joy. Not gonna waste all night looking at it. There we go. You know where this stuff probably will be pretty damn good. I've got these dreadful dice here that I haven't mucked with in a while. Yeah. You go back with the resin. Everybody goes home now. Resin colors, glow powder, arts and crafts. Spin the wheel, see if you get lucky. Can you find metallic powder? Can you, can you, can you? Ah. Alright, let's make sure this brush doesn't get turned into a resin brick. Let's give this a little mix. And play with this old dice project really quick, because I think this will be a lot of fun. The dice project kind of looked like last time I messed with it. I think this will be a huge improvement. There it is. Ah, that's beautiful. That's a brighter glow. And the resin will fill up the dark dice. That's perfect. And the green that you see is probably more glow than it is pigment. Just have to throw that down in a UV cure. There. Cool. And this is also a great little rock filler. Oh, what? That really cures beautifully. I am surprised. With all the isopropyl alcohol I put in there, I felt for sure that that would not cure well at all. And it absolutely does. Even thinned out like that. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's got a beautiful glow. Huh. And that's locked in place. That is so great. Ah! Oh, I'm tickled. Alright, so the Dark Alchemy was successful, just not in the project that I had hoped it would be successful on. And what we need to do now is try to save the Dark Alchemy mix until it can be used somewhere else. Make sure the light's on, so I don't want to turn into a brick. These glow powders away as well. I am a touch chagrined that I could not locate my metallic powders. green one that was absolutely gorgeous. I've got fun with that. There we go. 12 lesser glow-in-the-dark powders. What else do I want to try that on? Hit my mind just a second ago. And it has jogged right out of my brain. Of course it has. Oh, yes. I have some of these witch bottles here. Planned on using these to make little pendants for anybody who wanted them on Halloween night, or maybe to give away with our books. And now I was just kind of curious if I poured some of this in there and coated some surfaces, how would it look? So let's find out while we're experimenting. In theory, with the UV light right on it like this, the resin should be curing on the side of the bottle as it spins. I was also kind of wondering if we could get a cool spinning effect in this manner. The downside of it is that the isopropyl alcohol that's in there is coming across resin in the middle of a cure and thinning it out. We might need a more concentrated beam. And as I was a little bit worried, that the cap would lock into place on that. All right, let's get a really big UV source fired up. And the bottle is definitely warming up from the curing action. is one of the weirdest bits of crazy resin fluid I have ever messed with. A good chunk of that is just pure glow off of the solution. Alright, let's pour the rest. Yeah. There are resin flakes in there. Let's pour the rest into the napkin. See if we can't solidify what's left. If I leave this bottle out in the sun for an hour or three, it'll become completely inert because there's no way I'm giving anything in any way potentially health harmful to anybody on Halloween night. It's kind of like a radioactive glowing bottle. And that's in the shadow of my palm, so that's all UV coming off the glow powder. I think I know what I can store that stuff in now, too. Yeah, that's not bad. For a glow-in-the-dark witch bottle, that ain't bad. It's by no means super thrilling, but it's not bad. I have a feeling I should have just put the I should have thinned it out less. Well, there's still time to screw it, I suppose. There we go. I still have plenty of the Soraya resin. Let's do just a little bit more experimenting with our dark alchemy. Let's add a lot more resin. This should now be, number one, significantly more viscous. Number two, significantly more likely to turn into a solid when UV hits it. And three, significantly more something you don't want anywhere near you on your skin or flesh. Let's hit this with a UV exposure for a few minutes. I am also a little bit curious if it is easier to manage. Oh, curse my gummy eye. Oh, really wrong. Throw that in the UV for a sec. Seems brighter, but this is also one I've gone over with before. It's a duller glow as well. Obviously, the powder has been diluted out. I'm not wasting 60 grams of powder on that. There's only so much I want to blow on an experiment. If the results had been more promising, I'd be more inclined to go heavier. We may have hit. Nope. Let's try splash this. Not much. It's already plenty in there. I was also hoping that I'm rotating this little jar in the UV light, and I was kind of hoping that the rotation would create some interesting patterns as the resin cured on the sides. With the more thinned out stuff, not so much. I was hoping that the heavier material would be a bit more cooperative. We'll know in a moment here. Not too much left in there in a liquid state. And there it is. So it's a good way to get a glow bottle, that's for sure. It's warmer because the resin's cured. And that should stay glowing for a while because, like I said, that's really good glow powder. And if UV hits it directly, it absolutely just lights up like a torch. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go get something to store that in. And then I will put it somewhere where the sunlight can't reach it. I'll try to run over this fuzzy cat on my way out. Or over, I should say. I'm not going anywhere. And then we're back to boring plan A. Good girl, man. You're already moving. Excellent. Night, Joey. Have a good one. Alright, one storage bottle. Let's do a hell of a mix up. And then we'll hope this thing is big enough to hold it all. huge amount of glow powder in the bottom. I'm hoping that stuff mixed with the original hit. Okay. Mad science is complete. Dun dun dun. This cannot be exposed to ultraviolet at all. Bit of light screening. I mean, let's be honest, I'm going to do a lot of light screening. This mad experiment, though only partially successful, was in fact still expensive. Not super expensive, but not cheap either. Let us simply say it behooves us to be frugal with these materials. Wait and see if there's... I know this works as an inlay for those dark dice, so there is that. It works as an excellent inlay for any larger channeled project like this. But the markings I have on these are just too fine, unfortunately. Then we need to make sure that we store it in a drawer somewhere. finally I get to go to town on these stupid eye boogers. Okay. All this stuff really just needs to get bathed in ultraviolet. Except for the paintbrush. Paintbrush will wash off an isopropyl. It'll be fine. Okay. This also needs to get bathed in UV. Alright. Goes there. Can I unsafety gear myself without dying? Let's find out. Some of these resin gems. I want to put this whole plate of dangerous resin crap where I can smack it with a black light for however long I am streaming for. Come on over here. Get in front of the black lights. Do that. Now get blasted with UV. And get cured. Okay. That being done, and the experiment concluded, I hate eye goobers. Yep. This can go back over here. Oh, this can go down there. I've cluttered my area with a whole bunch of extraneous crystals, god damn it. And it's time to continue what I was doing before I had my little braingasm. Oh. Stupid eye boogers. Alright, well, we created love potion number 3. It's not love potion number 9. But let's face it, we all knew that wasn't happening tonight. So what we're going to do instead is get back to the original plan, which was working out very well. And is going to take for flip all ever. I'm not looking forward to that, but it's still going to look amazing. $86,000 can go back into there. Oh, pardon. All right. I need to make sure that I never try to lick this brush clean again. Or I should say tip smooth it. Let's put a little danger, dummy, don't do that. Mark it. A little, this is contaminated with resin. Zebra stripe, danger. Good. Okay. And what I was doing originally, which still looks amazing, but is not as suffice to say, it doesn't glow. But it does show up on black light. It does look beautiful. It does add the extra zip that I want to this project. I just wish that it dried the same way it looks when it goes in. Because it looks gorgeous when it goes in. And when it goes in, it follows all the contours of the burn lines. Doesn't seep out. It's just friggin' beautiful. The fact that the resins in the wood kind of cake when they flash fry. Let's see here. Focus seems about as good as I can get it without putting it towards the center. And of course, when you hit it with UV, here it's going to get way too bright, but it highlights every single rune in there. And when it dries, it still looks vaguely greenish. Sorta-ish, that's a camera position. But when the UV light hits it, it really illuminates right up. Unfortunately, we're dealing with camera coloration, so you guys don't get the full effect, but it's goddamn beautiful. I just wish it dried that color precisely, rather than that one. There's a distinct tonality difference between a still drying one and a completely dried one. And I was kind of hoping that the resin would make them look exactly like this and have them glowy as well, but we didn't luck out that well on there. Yeah, it comes out extremely, extremely well. I doubt it, just because the thing that's generating the color flash is the pigment cloud from the fluorescent ink. And when that pigment cloud is suspended and taking up more space, it's significantly brighter. And if you hit it with a clear coat on top, you would still have the flat, dried pigment cloud at the bottom of the project rather than it suspended up. So there's no way to reconstitute that look with a top coat, regrettably. And as I believe I mentioned, it applies very easily. And the ink stays right within the groove of the burns. The downside, of course, is the fact that there are 54 blocks in a Jenga tower. Every block has 2 sides. I have already burned the sides with Eldritch Runes. And now I have to paint ink into all 108 blocks. And you begin to see my conundrum. Originally, I was trying to get the glow powder, shake it onto this, rub it down so it's stuck into the grooves of each block, and that way I wouldn't have to paint it in individually. I could find a far more mass-produced method, but once painted in, there was nothing there to keep it there. And I tried putting glue in these and then rubbing it on and in, and I tried rubbing it in and then putting glue on top, and that just made it look like it was full of white crud and never gave the beautiful green return that these do. So we're stuck doing it the hard way. I am sure someone out there has got a fast means to do this, but I do not. To my great regret. I'm just glad it didn't say, you know, I should probably do that to all the laser burns on the top. That would look good. At which point it would be one of those, Halloween is suspended, I have a project that's going to last me the next 7 lifetimes. If you could find a way to make this go more quickly, I would be indebted. The nice thing of it is once you paint the spot, if you need to increase the amount of ink in there, you just need to get a full brush and tap it, and the ink will naturally flow. Into where you've already got the base. That would have been good, except that these are all just hand-done wood burnings. There is no pattern to them. They were just me by hand burning away. So they are non-uniform. Every single one is unique, more or less. There are some that follow similar patterns, because after I did 8 or 10 of them, I always grabbed one of my previous ones just to serve as an inspiration, so I wouldn't be creating every single design from scratch. But yeah, they're just too unique. Which means I damn well better play Dread with some people, because the work I am putting into this tower is just beyond the pale. I have also begun doing some work on 3D printing a couple of, or I should say, doing the 3D design work to make a couple of 3D printed light sources that will sit back from the tower and blast black light up at it, so that as we play, all the runes that I painstakingly painted will be in full glow. I suppose the other nice thing is if I need a prop for Halloween, I can just put this on one of the tables. It's like, it's spooky, it's scary, it's covered in runes, it's fine. The downside with allowing the ink to run of its own accord is that it may hit a spot where it sinks into the wood. Then rather than having a inked design, I've just got wood that completely reacts everywhere to the UV, rather than just inside the sigils. I'm less concerned with the waste of ink, quite frankly, just because this ink was not that hugely expensive. It's more that the look at the end will not be glowing runes, it will be a toddler spilled ink all over this Jenga set. That's what we need. A sweatshop. If there were kids out there that really took art and employment seriously, maybe. The downside is that this painting is tiny. And, and I'm very dedicated to the project. Whereas other people will do the, good enough. It's one of the reasons I've never really had anybody help with my Halloween stuff that I'm making. Not that I necessarily wouldn't, but I couldn't guarantee they would have the same... It's not even quality as a matter, it's more of a sense of aesthetics that I have. Let us help you. I don't trust you. Yeah, that too. Or it would have to be somebody who thought Jenga was just the world's greatest game and supported anybody making excessively fancy Jenga sets. 1000%. Yes, yes, yes. It's all the amusing game of art projects. But when this one's done, I will be very, very happy. I would love to do a fortune-telling theme. For one of the Halloween years. Don and I have talked about doing themes for quite a while, but we never really managed to get anything that is congruent enough to alter the entire haunt. Like one year we said, we're doing Season of the Witch, we're going to do all magic-y stuff, and we always kind of do magic-y stuff. And then last year for me was like, this is the Year of the Beast, and I made that wolf head mask. And that was really the only change that we made. So I'd love to do thematics, but don't quite have the volume of... We have tons of stuff, but I don't have the stuff to be shifting everything out noticeably thematically every single year. Even though I would love to do something like that. I hear the scrapings of a cat behind me. Considering it was up on my chair, I am betting that is Mr. Samhain. Come to say hello. Sam! What's up, buddy? Let's get the resin the hell away from you. Hi! Let's get the 3D printed widgets away from you. Come here. I should be drinking. Sam. Hi. What's up? Meow. convince you to come onto the table? Over here? Can I pick you up and place you into the camera? I mean, the easy method would be just to swivel the camera over. He'll probably knock that over if I get him over here. Hey! No, don't you go down. Don't you go down. Get over here. Hi! Oof. Here you go. Voila! There's my buddy. Hi. This is where we wanted you. Fuzzy Bear! Hi. Alright, brief camera appearance of Samhain the cat. Oh, we have a boy. My little black cat. One thing we could do also is I want to take some of that Ceratec resin and see if I can get the layer lines out of these prints with some UV exposure. And the problem with this ink is that it will settle out if you don't agitate it on a fairly regular basis. Much like the glow powder inside of the resin. Requires fairly frequent maintenance. Yeah, pretty much. I got dark magic inscriptions to put on stuff, damn it. The nice thing about this project is, again, I can go downstairs, listen to an ebook, or have a movie playing in the background while I do this. And it will not take that long, truthfully. It's just one of those time input equals product output. And while relaxing, it's not especially inventive or creative. Even though it does look damn good. I was kind of hesitant to stream it, just based on the fact that this isn't much more than me stooped over a Jenga block with a small brush. This isn't exactly pumpkin sculpting. But I have a feeling that will come soon enough, especially once summer break starts. If I maintain the fairly good mood I've been in for quite some time. We should get a lot of stuff done this summer. And I'm pretty sure we wrote in the Book of Halloween what needs to get done for this year. I know we need more tombstones. I feel so much better about laser cutting them. Or at least the text in some of the designs. The stone itself has to be carved and done by me, but I can ensure that we're getting a consistent writing and font. Whoop. See, like just there, I touched the stuff to it. Ah! It's not that bad. Yeah, but this would have gotten onto the blocks and really screwed up. Screwed up their look. If I just completely covered them. Mind you, I could have covered them, I could have burned them, covered them, and then sanded off the top layer, and then stained them, and that might have worked. But if you sand over a wood burning, you augment the look a little bit. And I would have had to make sure those laser etches it would have taken probably about 20-30 minutes a piece, because I would have had to make sure that those were burned as deep as that laser would have gone. Next time, oh God, I want to do this again. It's bad enough doing it once. What idiot decided he wanted to play Dread? Ah! Just wait and see. Old Gods of Appalachia will come out, and I'll be absolutely gung-ho over that, and I will completely forget about Dread. I haven't actually run a role-playing game in... God, that was before I went back to college. That was 2006. I'd argue the last game I ran was probably 2004-ish, so it's been 18, 19 years since I've run a role-playing game. Just like riding a bike. And truth be told, I'm really not worried. They're very easy to do. I'm very good at what I do, so... it'll be simple and fun. Get some more. There we go. Oh, this is going to look great. Kind of wondering if I should adjust the camera to be a little bit more on the project. All anybody can see from this angle is yep, we're still here. We're still here. Okay. See, all anybody can see from that angle is Jack and a bit of spit. Alright, let's not break things. If we can help it. Let's have everybody appreciate what's actually being done here. Good. Yeah, that's better. Now my big chubby hand isn't blocking the whole thing. Maybe we'll actually get some viewers from Twitch at some point. She calls for Naluka Babuni. Woo! Oh my. That stuff's potent. Naluka Babuni! Not too much. I need to have fine motor control. But a little bit of a honey splash is very called for. Yeah, pretty much. He kept talking about how it was such delicate work, and then he started drinking and just screwed the whole thing right up. Well, we got the 12-foot Inferno pumpkin. Should be showing up sometime next week, with any luck. We gotta do tombstones this year if we can. 4 like monstrous sepulchral ones, possibly. We've got a project that somebody else there had called a Lear Ghost. Yes, at the very least I've got lines to follow, and part of this really is just getting this to match up. The ink completely seeps into the depressions, and that makes the task excessively much easier over trying to paint any of this myself. I shouldn't say paint it myself. I already burned it myself, and this is just inlaying. I'm actually glad I'm not trying to paint this definitively, because I've found that when you paint into depressions, you never quite get the effect that you're going for. Those dark dice of mine were predicated on that idea, and the painting just never quite came out very well. Go. I'm still extremely pleased with these agates. Probably don't need my smock on anymore, but what the hell. Yep, that's what I was worried about. My left eye keeps getting fuzzy. Usually when that happens, it means I've got eye boogers in the way. Do not like. See how many more of these we can tolerate tonight. The crystals are a lot of fun. I still need to design their bases, but they are very fun to sculpt. I shouldn't say sculpt. They're fun to pour. No sculpting to be done. Pour the resin in the mold, and you've got it. The color mixes you can get are quite enthralling. I wish I had slightly better control over how any metallic powders inside them deposited, but they still come out quite well. On the Home Haunter Awards show YouTube channel, saw somebody who made a cool little ghost on a rope. The rope was in a square, that ran kind of a small, maybe 8x4 course through their graveyard. So it looked like this tiny little, maybe 1.5 foot tall ghost was slowly meandering around the graveyard as it ran around on its little square rope powered by a motor. It was an exceptional display prop. Okay. There we go. Oh, they look beautiful. God, they look beautiful. Super happy. Yep, it's slow and it doesn't glow, but this is the way. Or I should say it doesn't glow with its own light. Still glows perfectly fine under black light. Who knows? Maybe on Halloween night I will set this Jenga table out. Or set this Jenga set out. And dare any trick-or-treaters to pull from the tower. I can ask what symbol they got and give them a prophecy. I might see if the carpentry class can knock me up a few extra blocks, though, for the ones that I misburned. That's fine if I'm doing a role-playing game with friends, but on Halloween night, I want every block to be correctly burned. Shouldn't be too hard for them. Oof. Oh. The old hunched over painting problem. Snap, crackle back. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whew. Getting there. Hey, Berlina, how we doing? Oh. Good stuff. We've been hard at work all night doing crazy alchemy and deciding it didn't quite fit the bill of what was needed. Yes, the Jenga set will go into this 3D printed holder. And I need to make some stuff for the sides of this because these hexagons are actually in such a shape that a Jenga block can slide through if it lines up with that thing. These are just resin poured crystals. So they were liquid and then they became solid. Yep, but that will be the Jenga Sets transport box. All said and done. Yeah, natural ones would be nice, but I can't guarantee the effects that I need them to have, which is internal translucency and glow in the dark / UV reactance. There's a number of crystals that have UV reactance, but for that price, I can just pour my own. And I can guarantee that they'll be uniform shape and size as well. Yes, fluorite will definitely do it. I'm pretty sure that 6 to 8 inch tall chunks of cut fluorite will be far more expensive than my resin. Yep. The only natural crystal I've got are these agate beads. And I've got about 100 more of those than I need. So I'll have to find something Halloween-y to do with them. Even if it's just making stuff to give away to kids on Halloween. I'm probably going to have a giveaway of all the crystals that all my experimental crystals, because they're just kind of taking up room in the craft room, and I'm not going to use them for Halloween. So some kid who likes shiny stuff can have them. Nice. That sounds really cool, Berlina. If you use the Unhallowed group, please throw a picture of that up. I'd love to see it. Hey, Carmen. Yeah, if you come by on Halloween night, Moonshine. Swing on through. Grab a crystal. I do like labradorite as well. I think I've got a cabochon of that downstairs. Okay, cool. It's on order. Excellent. Yeah, I'd love to see what you got. Ugh. Left eye, fuzzy wumpus. Let's see, if I do 12 at a time, then it should only take me about... about 4.5 days. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, like I said, I'd love to see what you got. Not a huge crystal person, but I love their look. I think those Himalayan salt lamps are the biggest joke on the planet when it comes to negative ions, but I think they look beautiful. I love the glow that comes out of them. Oh, righto, Berlina, thank you for swinging in and saying hi. Always appreciate it. I appreciate anybody who pops in and is sociable. Yeah. Yes, crystals are definitely expensive. Unless you're a rock hound who knows where to get them. Makes me think of Dan Hurd's channel. And that man is definitely a rock hound. No kidding. Oh dear. It's like all those poor bastards who believe in homeopathic medicine, or the... Oh god, what is it? It is homeopathy. I'm pretty sure it's yeah, homeopathic. Homeopathic medicine. Now, any mineral of sufficient density will be able to halt kinetic force. Too true. Too true. How's it going tonight, David? Not too bad. I've been at this for a little while. We had some mad alchemy going on earlier as I was trying to find a resin and glow powder alternative to doing what I'm doing now. And that experiment yielded interesting results, just not interesting results that were compatible with this project, like I'd hoped they would be. But hopefully those results will be available for another project some other time. Right now, I keep thinking to myself, God, did I have to make all these little designs so fucking intricate? We could have made these a lot less complicated. I do not have a P.O. box now. I actually have no plans to play this game anytime soon. The actual gaming night was good. We played 7 Days to Die, which we haven't played in a while. And that was pretty fun. They're actually probably playing it right now. I always like ending up being the camp mom in that particular game. Let the other guys go out on crazy zombie killing adventures while I build the base and try to organize things. Well, you could. Just remember, I've already 3D printed a holder for it. Wouldn't want your efforts going to waste. So the storage on this one is kind of already accounted for. Though I do appreciate the thought. It might, just one of those, if there's already a holder to keep it in. Unless there's a bag for the container, which is inside a thing. See, a bag to surround the 3D printed cage. More ink, more ink. Oh, potentially. We'll see. Yeah, I do not know how much use this whole thing will get. If it really goes south, then I can bring it down to the gaming store, slap a hefty price tag on it, and let somebody take it off my hands. This is all also going together quite fast, which is pretty nice. Oh. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a... It's going to be long, but it's not going to be stupid long. That is just freaking gorgeous. Potentially, the brush does allow me to get... It allows it to follow the crevices quite well. The only thing I wish I had was a wider inkwell. I don't like dipping into this small surface here. It's not terrible, but it's not the most convenient. But considering this is the only time I plan on doing a project this stupidly, intricately, annoyingly detailed, I can certainly live with it until this completes. I'm also willing to bet I'm probably picking up speed at it too. If this were paint, I would absolutely agree with you. This is, however, an ink. So it is significantly more watery in its consistency, which is nice because it runs down all the channels that I've already wood burned with minimal effort. If I was doing this same project with paint, it would be considerably more difficult. That's why I continually agitate this thing. Yep, slightly different composition. I do not know. I can imagine it would be somewhat nightmarish to control the injection pressure, though, because you'd have to have it be absolutely constant and under perfect control the entire time. And the brush is doing a good job of that. Since I have fairly exceptional control of however much ink is on it in a given moment. Yeah, really. Squirt. Have to sand down the whole block, and if you have to sand down the whole block, then it won't fit into the Jenga tower right anymore. And your game is completely foobarred. Alright, now to do it into the laser topped. Nope. I was briefly tempted there to see what it looked like in one of the spirals. Nope. Not doing it. I'm already an idiot for doing this. We're not going there. I don't care how dazzling it looks, there's a time limit on this that I do not wish to. There's not a time limit in actuality, but there's a time limit in, oh my god, how much time am I sinking into this? Practicality, Shelly, practicality. Nope. Crafters just see, I have a vision. I want this to do that. How can I get to X from Y? Or vice versa. Whichever flavor of algebra you prefer. Choo Choo, how you holding up? I know you usually watch from Twitch. It must be done at craft store costs. There is a good little comic out there that is something along the lines of, I just spent $426 in craft supplies to make something I could have bought for $3.75. Good stuff. I do tend to be easy noise. Now you got me wondering what game you're grinding. I'm gonna lean back for a minute here. Oh, met my back on crick. See if I can find that bottle of water. Core Keeper, cool. I've seen a bunch of folks playing that. Earlier, I was playing some Tainted Grail Conquest myself. Yeah. Looked like a nifty concept of the game. Got all the roguelite elements. Nice. I like games that give you the ability to have builds. Although I never tend to go too complex in any of mine. What time it is? Echo, what time is it?
It's 1:05 a.m.
Ah! Yeah, thank God it's the weekend. Doesn't matter. And we're not rocking Tainted Grail tomorrow, so I don't have to go down to the shop. Stay up stupidly late. Oh, we've got 5 more to go. I tell you, when this project is done, I will be so glad to get back to some good old-fashioned pumpkin bachet. I consider it the last time I took a shot, it was a little fiery. Let me finish this face. I am not averse to another swig. More Naluka Baboni. Must be a deep one. Oh, I should probably also finish up the sunken city at some point. There we go. Yeah, let's tap another hit of Babuni. Down. Potent. Potent and delightful. Yep, honey liqueur. The power to microwave a whole flock of gadflies in one go. Depends on the game we're playing. I'm sure there are variants of the Dread story that you can run that would be Lovecraftian. Personally, I tend to... the cosmic entities are very intriguing concepts, but I tend to think that they're too big for most games. Popular culture has a a strange relationship with Cthulhu. Most pop culture elements tend to treat the entity like a boss of a video game. Hello, Asking Fora. How you doing? How is your night? Way too many games, or too many pop culture sources treat Cthulhu like a boss in a video game. And it's not. Nice! What are you studying? I miss the old college days. Those were lots of fun. Probably the most social time in life. Cool. You back at it, or did you just transition straight to a college program from where you left off? I know there's a few places that completing your senior year is only vaguely suggestion, or a vague suggestion. And so long as you're paying the college fee, they don't really care if you didn't get whatever diploma from a high school. So what program are you cranking, wherever you're cranking? Or are you just getting your 12th grade equivalency in college? Yikes. Okay, cool. Grabbing the equivalency. Rock on. Make sure that whatever they give you a course for, Something you can get a certificate that makes it so you can do a job not any idiot on the street can do. That's what I tell all my students these days. Only way to fly in this world. I haven't agitated that a little bit. Yeah, it's cool that you got your own business. You're rocking and rolling it then. As long as none of the employees are trying to hold themselves up above you because of that. If they're not the owners, they need to suck it up. ChatGPT is interesting, but I don't know. I have seen what happens when you have students whose only skill is looking up the correct answer and they don't know why it's the correct answer. They can't do any of the thought assembly beyond that. High school has variable utility. Ugh. Same as college. It's really down to what do you want to get out of it. And if you don't want what they're selling, then it won't matter how well they sell it. And also, if it's not what you need, then it doesn't matter what they're selling if you don't need it. Time will tell with the Chat GPT. I did see a nifty thing for Khan Academy using AI as a personal tutor for students. So it never gave answers, but it always asked things like, what's the next step to solving this problem? I think that has some utility. Like I said, some students just don't want what high school is selling, and some students just don't need what high school is selling. Absolutely. All depends on what you need and how you need it. And there are a number of students that I deal with on a regular basis who can find the stuff online but don't know their own phone numbers and so can't fill out a resume. Certainly the age of book-referenced information is on the decline. I don't necessarily like that, but that's only because I'm used to the way things were before. And everybody who was used to the way things were before will feel uncomfortable about whatever's coming up now. The God-given right of the old and crotchety. Is this the last one? There's no way this is the last one. Oh. Oh. Okay, let's see what we got here. I miss the belt in certain times. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, these three are done on both sides. I probably shouldn't set them like that. This little light is getting very, very cantankerous. These are done on both sides. Yep. Nowadays, everybody's on their phone in class. My God, I think we are done with that stack. Holy crow. That took a while. Oh man, I remember one acquaintance of mine put up on their Facebook about a school in, I believe it was Arkansas, was considering allowing corporal punishment again on an extremely limited extent and only when all other means of corrective behavior had failed. And everybody on that Facebook page went hog wild saying what a barbaric and horrible thing it was, and I was the only one going, yeah, sounds great. Get to it. Bring it everywhere. Yep. Oh yeah, Catholic school. They have many different disciplinary methods. Yeah, not everybody gets raised the same way, to be sure, Choo-choo. I find one of the great tragedies is a lot of younger folks aren't trusted to do basic sorts of things. That's kind of a shame. Now, that is still a little bit wet. I do not want to have that in there. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to be... Ugh. Going to be too short with the full 12. This is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21. If I do these two real quick, and that way I will be 21 in with only the rest to go. 54 minus 21 is lots. Alright, we'll get these two done on top of what we already got. Be good. Yeah. Close colleague of mine at school is a collector of antiques and Americana, and One of the books he showed me was called Slovenly Peter. All about the kids who don't listen and don't pay attention and what terrible things befall them. A most excellent Aesopian collection. Yeah, don't get me started on that one, Moonshine. There have been students in class where it's like, hey, alright, blah 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 blah, that thing. What's that thing? You have the entire human knowledge on a small device in your pocket. Pull it out and look it up. It's more for just Snapchat. It's for more things than just Snapchat and TikTok. Potentially. I was just up at my parents' this evening. They're both boomers. Yeah. The older will always gripe about the younger. I have found that to be very true. And even if you go back to like 1600, you'll find pamphlets talking about the kids these days. No respect. Ever since that stupid printing press came out, you just can't get handwritten books anymore. One of the monasteries coming to. No scriptoriums. Same no matter where you go and when you go. Just went outside the line on that one. Nice. faster and faster. Let these two dry. These three seem to be done. I don't necessarily make it a practice, it just seems to happen. I've really started come to enjoying the various YouTube documentary channels. Alright, let's start doing the back and forth stack. I'm really proud of this monstrosity. Zoom court. I know what you're going for. It just sounds kind of funny to me. There we go. Kind of wonder if any of these need fresh batteries. I should have some. Charger here. There we go. Come on. Wow, that's really jammed. Jesus. I can only imagine how insanely frustrating that must be. For any kind of court. The top / bottoms are all quasi-free. I drew the design on a graphics program, exported it to a no idea which side's positive and negative on this. Exported it to a graphics program. And then exported that to a laser cutter. Which I use to do the top and bottom. That's probably the wrong way around. It's definitely a variable environment. We had some students who did quite well with remote learning, but unfortunately the vast majority did flip all. It's borderline embarrassing. We're finding that a lot of the students who are coming in now have got a lot of issues due to that long-term remote schooling. pair of pliers here. This is ridiculous. Some great, others not so much. Oh my god, for cripe's sake, this is supposed to be an easy slide in, slide out. There you go. That's what you get when you buy cheap Chinese stuff. Oh, come on. Really? I just swapped you. You don't work one way, you don't work the other way. Ah! Special Needs is its own whole boat. There's a very broad spectrum of special needs. There are some who are... Jesus. Some who just need a little extra help. And there are some who are in real rough shape. Alright, I know you're connected. There you go. Frickin' hell. There we go. Ah, love it. It's come out so nice after that ink sets. Oof. Alright. Here we go. Let's finish it up. I let that brush set a little too long. Last two for the night. This will make 21 out of 54. Oh, vaguely grateful I don't paint miniatures much anymore. I haven't painted a miniature since like 2010. And this reminds me why it was a bit of a pain in the butt. go. All right. If you had told me when I was burning all these things, then I'd be going back over every single burn in fluorescent ink. I'd have told you you were crazy. That the burn was enough. But no. It wasn't enough, and I was insane. There we go. All right, let those two dry up. I'll call that a fantastic night. Isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol. Suppose I should dump this right back into the container. It's not like I plan on drinking isopropyl. Oh, well. One last blast of the glow test materials. For the dream that could have been, but it wasn't quite good. Definitely not as good as the ink at that job, but we did make the slime, and I'm sure I'll find a use, for this stuff someday. At the very least, it makes a halfway decent glow bottle. Oh, kind of curious. Echo, turn off craft light. Did get some interesting forms from the side. everything in there is definitely solid. It gave me a little practice using the Soraya Tech resin in an unanticipated form. Yeah. Let the isopropyl break off the bottom. I find it interesting that on the camera that almost looks white. Very interesting. Alright, Echo, turn on craft light. Ooh. 2 in the box. Ready to go. We be fast. Maybe slow. Alright, well that is all for this evening. Hey. Yeah, it's a little offside. There we go. Close enough. Let the mess flow. Ah. What a night. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody who's still around for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Sorry our Dark Alchemy experiment didn't go quite the way I anticipated. I'm not upset with what was created, but it definitely was not what I had hoped for. But I'm sure it'll have a use. So we will catch you next time. I still have a wow. I still have a very twisty, turny camera apparently. I still have the rest of these to go. And then believe me, as soon as this project is done, we are going to get our butts back to some pumpkineering, because this thing has been an absolute breaker. I've got several skull wool sconces to clean up from 3D prints and paint, and those should get gorgeous when we get to that. I don't think we'll be doing very much with the Inferno pumpkin, apart from maybe when it comes in bit. I might do an unboxing assembly of that if anybody's curious as to how much of a pain in the butt those things are to set up. I'm sure other people have already done unboxing and assemblies, but whatever. My channel, I'll throw it up if I want to. And otherwise, thanks very much for hanging out. Take care. Let's get this thing to the control screen. Alright. Until you next time, keep your pumpkins shining bright. Take care.